Bitcoin, we start with 1 hour chart. First of all, we refer to our analysis because based on what we analyzed in my last video, we get the trade setup. Okay, if we refer to my last video and the price was exactly here, we mentioned about the different option. One of them was that if we look at this one as expanding, because we refer to what we have here, you mentioned if the price sharply move any flag, we can look for buy. This is the first opportunity because we point on this. This is where we could look for buy. That's mean if we move to 15 minute, all right, this is where we could, I mean, the first trade we have it was here because at that time when the price was exactly here, if we mention if there is a continuation as a sharp move based on 1 hour, any flag based on lower time frame or 1 hour, we can trade it, and this is what we get. This is the only way we could trade for this. All right, no, anyone is in this trade, they should move their stop loss to break even or pro. I mean, if they want to keep the trade or they book some profit. Okay, maybe this one can turn to give us one more drop. All right, we don't have any information here rather than if we put this one in relative to this based on 15 minutes, here we can see the divergence, and based on MACD we don't have that. Now we want to see what's the next, because we mentioned in my last video, we mentioned whatever the move we get here, if it's a corrective, maybe we can look for one more drop. If it's a sharp with the flag, we can look for buy. This is what we get, that's why we point on this. And we mentioned whatever we have here, we put in relative to this. Okay, now the thing is, what's the next? All right, as we can see, the price almost near to the top 58. All right, maybe we start with the higher time frame first again, and as we can see, based on higher time frame, now we want to see whether the price can continue and break or not, because since last 3 days what we get here was really sharp, because this is the only correction. Now if we move to 4 hour chart, okay, that's mean no, we had this expanding. First, we have been looking for this expanding, and we get this move. Now the question is whether we can put this one as a 1, 2, 3 with the correction. That means before the price broke the top, can we expect one more drop to get the internal correction for continuation or not? This is what we were looking for. That's why if you want to look for buy here, we should be aware maybe this one can tend to a bigger correction. If we get any buy, we should know how to manage it. All right, but the best things if the price continue from here, but for sure if we get the deeper correction, can give us better opportunity to look for the new trade. Okay, and if we put this one in relative to this based on forward chart, we have nothing. That means the possibility of, even we don't have the divergence, the possibility of the reversal is based on the indicators is less. Okay, but still we need to be aware. And if we move to 1 hour chart, as we can see, we have been looking for this one as expanding. This is the first correction and the last. If we put this one in relative to this, we see whether we have divergence or not. MACD show us the divergence, and as well this one. Okay, now what we want to see that if we want to, because right now we don't have any trade setup, if we want to look for buy, okay, any small flag, still we can take the buy, but we consider as a short-term buy, because as we can see the price almost is near to the top. Where is the top? If I put my line here, almost is, all right, almost is 58,362. Okay, now where are we? This is where we are. That means if we get any trade setup with a small correction, we should know we are the price at the top, even we have a divergence. Okay, we should know how to manage. The trade should be a short term in case there is a bigger price will move for bigger correction, because still we have one more possibility that this one better from here. I mean, the price can give us one more drop similar to what we have here before we get the next move. That's why any buy within this range, we should be aware of that. Even with the breakout of the top, any buy we get, I mean, any trade we get by a small correction of flag, as long as we get into the profit, we start to manage, unless we see the sharp move with the breakout of the top, which is 58360 we consider. Okay, and that's mean if we get any sharp move with the flag, we can confirm that the next one is the one is going to give us a big correction or drop, or maze here. This is what we had it. All right, anyway, we don't have any trade setup. The only thing is we want to see whether we can get any trade setup from here or not, and we should be aware if this one turns to a deeper correction. That's why any trade we take it, we should have the proper trade setup. because simply right now we cannot look for buy, and any small flag we should consider as a short-term trade. Do we have any flag based on 15 minutes? No, we don't have anything. Okay. Anyway, we don't have any trade setup. The only thing says we want to, if we want to trade, we need to get a trade setup. Having entry above the top, it can be an option, but it's really risky. Easily price can and turn to a deeper correction. Okay. The only way we can consider, this is the one we are not going to look for uh, correction similar to what we have here. If we look at this one as expanding flat, and even if you look at that in that way, that means this is the first move and this is the one is going to break the top. In terms of the time and lengths, they are not match. Okay. What I want to say that we should expect the bigger correction, whether from here or even the price break the top. Okay. Anyway, we just follow the chart. We see how we can trade it, and any trade at the top, we need to be quite careful. We need to have a really good trade setup. In this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.